Here we are.
Hello.
This week we're nursing some broken hearts. She's gonna cry.
It's a very sad time in Boston.
I know.
It's really depressing.
It's not just Boston though. It's Red Sox Nation as a whole. There are people
Red Sox,
around
that's
the
true.
world who
That's
are
true.
brokenhearted.
And then there are people around the world
Who are rejoicing.
gloating. You know who you are.
Okay.
Also hurts my feelings. This has been though the worst. I mean,
At least when we do it like worst or best. Like when we won the World Series in 2004, we came back from nowhere.
Came back from 3-0. That was a better. Obviously, this collapse, which we think is imminent, will be. I think obviously it will be the worst regular season collapse in the history of Major League Baseball. But
Those
not
words
the
are
worst.
hard to get out of your mouth.
They
I
are.
know.
But not as bad as what happened to the Yankees, because that was a playoff, obviously, and they were, up 3-0. There's just no way you could possibly lose, and they did. That might be the biggest choke. I think ours is the greatest collapse, though, and it is absolutely stunning.
Stunning
to me. That
Even
this
to
could
me,
happen.
and I don't know as much, but even to me, it's stunning.
There is nothing, none of it makes any sense. How does a team go? I don't even know what it is. 6 wins and 18 losses, whatever it is, in September.
Well, especially since they started so poorly and they came back, so you had such high hopes.
You were cocky. We were up by 9 games in September 3rd or September 1st.
Sports is very humbling.
It is very, very hard to be. And I'm going to be honest, I'm in a very zen mode about it. Aren't I?
Yes, you
Aren't
have.
I?
Yes, you have.
First of all, I don't watch the games anymore. Done. I don't read the sports sections. I follow occasionally on Twitter.
I think this is very good advice for yourself, by the way.
You know, it's funny.
Keep it in mind.
My brother, David, Yankees fan, I think he has stopped watching games also. I think our genetic makeup is not good when it comes to losing. And
you don't like to lose at anything.
No.
In any way.
Not even like Scrabble. No, I don't like to lose.
That's why, by the way, I don't play games with this lady.
I don't blame you. I'm not a good loser, and I don't like it when my team loses. I am in agony. My brother actually said to me when the Yankees lost to the Red Sox in 2004, I hate to bring it up again, David, it was like the worst day of his life. The worst day of the man's life. I mean, think about that.
I know.
50 some odd at that time, or 60, whatever.
Well, a lot of people thought the winning of the World Series was the best day of their lives. So
absolutely,
there you go,
and that's how sports can take over your life. But you can't let it, people. You can't let it. I am smarting. There's no question. I am an open wound.
You are sad.
A raw nerve, and I have no hope for the next 2 days. None. Zero. I have lost. It is hopeless as far as I'm concerned.
You're not even watching.
Oh, I won't watch. I'll follow occasionally on Twitter. I bring my iPad and I look at Twitter and I see
how bad it is.
And I'll see like whoever, Pete Abraham, who I follow, something like, how could that have just happened? Inside the park home run by the Baltimore, unheard of. And I'll just like close the Twitter down and I'll be like, well, there goes that game. Done. And I don't watch. I don't listen.
So we need solutions for sports depression.
Besides the Xanax. Besides the Xanax that I'm.
The drugs and alcohol. Besides
the drip,
that, right.
Xanax drip that I'm now on. It's very sad though, and it is. Sports can bring you the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows.
Not I.
No, you are very much a good try.
Yeah.
Good try, Red Sox. Good try.
And by the way, I'm going to sleep. And
I don't think I've ever watched a game with you. Have you ever? You should go to Fenway Park with Anne-Marie Eigner. Inning number 3. Bye, Anne-Marie. Inning number 3. She has her Fenway Frank, and she's gone. Gonzo.
I just like a little bit of the flavor.
Girl.
I know I have.
But you've also missed some pain and anguish.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'm not good at pain and anguish.
No.
I don't even like to watch TV shows that make me uncomfortable.
Which is just about every television show, too, by the way. Is that
Except for Murder, She Wrote.
Which is shocking with the word murder and all. That should make you very
Even The Good Wife, which I absolutely love.
Is that show great? Oh, my God.
Okay, so we're segueing into other things.
Okay, right? Yeah. Look, goodbye, Red Sox.
Bye-bye.
Love you, bye-bye.
See you next year.
Yeah. And then Tom Brady, hello. Stop with the interceptions.
At least he's gorgeous.
This has been, that's not good enough for me any longer. None of the gorgeousness makes a difference to me. They have to win, win, win.
Okay. Well, they
All
got
right.
another chance.
Well,
and
let's
they're
move
not
around
in
to
the
a
toilet
topic
yet.
that's not so depressing.
Well, so how about Charlie Sheen?
I find that
really
somewhat
go from-
depressing when you are
To go
dead.
from superficial to even more superficial.
You quit a show, you leave your colleagues in the lurch, you basically hold
Bad-mouth everybody in the
hold
world.
everybody up. You know,
Right.
you hold, it's like a hold up.
And
And then you get $25 million.
Unless they pay me.
Is that what it was? I didn't see the
$25
number.
million.
I didn't see
With
the
more
number.
coming, I think, actually. They're saying it could be as much as $100 million once it goes into syndication, which he does deserve. He deserves syndication money because he's the
Right,
star
fine.
for 8 years. I mean, he delivered.
I
but
can't
they
stand
settled
him.
for $25 million, and he had been worried about his livelihood, and now he's not worried. Thank God.
I think he still should be worried because I don't know who the hell would hire him. Excuse me very much, but that's how I feel.
So the LA Times says $25 million, but TMZ, your Bible, says the deal could be worth roughly $100 million over the next 7 years.
And I bet you he's not allowed to say.
Yeah, he is on a real repairing his image.
Right guard sports stink. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Good luck to
Campaign,
him.
isn't
Good
he?
luck to him.
Yeah.
He will never repair his image with me. Ever, ever. I will never
Well-
watch a show or go to a movie that has anything to do with Charlie Sheen.
I never did in the first place. Did
I,
you?
No, I honestly didn't.
No, so
But-
he's not trying to repair with
But
you.
I wasn't, it wasn't like I
You didn't
wasn't
hate him.
lobbying against him
Right,
in those
right.
days. But
Yeah,
now I
I'm
can-
not very fond of it.
10
either.
things we should know about the new Facebook. Do you care?
I'm confused about it.
I don't
mean,
care.
I spend more time on Facebook than you do. I believe. I don't like the running tally on the right side that tells me, who's playing what game, who liked what, who said. I don't need to know this one. I feel that they are shoving information down our throats. And I just don't need to know that much about you. And that's really the truth. But
I
I'm
think
not
there's gonna
big
be
on
a bigger-
change anyway.
But there's going to be a bit of a rebellion.
There
I think
always
people-
is. Netflix changes, there's a rebellion. If Facebook changes, there's a rebellion.
Now, why would you mess with something that was so successful already?
Because they're feeling the heat from Google Plus. They're feeling the heat. I mean, this is could be an issue for them, and he's another one who doesn't like to lose.
I bet you
Let's face it.
most of our fans could care less. I bet that's just my
I think
feeling.
you're right. I don't think our fans are glued to the changes
Facebook.
at Facebook. I think honestly, many of our fans like Facebook. That's how we communicate with them. But I don't think they care about where the ticker is and whether you show up on a public page or a private page. I mean, my attitude is I don't want to show up anywhere that I don't want to show up.
Right.
That's what bothers me.
The minute
and
you're on
worries
Facebook,
me.
you're showing up, aren't
You're
you?
showing your well, you can set things for private, but you have to figure all that out. And we're limited.
That's why I don't do it. So then the other subject which you wanted to talk about arrived in my mailbox today.
Isn't that funny? I
Isn't
saw it
that
on the
funny?
Today Show, and
Why
it's-
Mom liked you best. And actually, I just wrote my kids an email saying, did they ever feel that I had two, a girl and a boy. I have
Well,
two.
I
shouldn't
think
say I
you
had
did
to.
treat your children differently.
Well, my
because you
daughter
were
was more of a challenge, but
Right.
it wasn't that I
That's
liked one over the other.
I think the
hope
love a
not.
parent has.
I hope not. I
Well,
really do.
I think the love a parent has is equal for their kids. I really believe that. But I do think some kids and their parents have a better personality match. Some kids are more difficult. Some kids are easier. Some kids are funnier, and you just have an honestly just like the person a little better. It doesn't mean you don't like the other person.
Well, all I hear all day long at school is how great Marcia is at this, or how wonderful Marcia did that. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia!
I think my father, honestly, and I, for many, many years, did not really see eye to eye. Yet he and my brother were as tight as could be. They really got along well and had a
How about your mom?
camaraderie.
How about your mom?
My mother was much more of an equal opportunity parent, I think, but she and I had a definite link. First of all, I was the youngest. My sister
the
is
baby,
five
and
or six
by quite a
years.
few
Yeah,
years,
5 or
yeah.
6. So I was not a latchkey kid. I was left after my sister went to college with my parents for about 6 years before I went to college. So we
So
grew
you
a
got to
different
really
kind
be
of bond.
closer, right.
Did she prefer me to my sister or brother? No. But did we have a certain personality mix that I think she and my siblings didn't have? Possibly.
What's interesting, though, is that my daughter and I probably have more similar personalities.
Which might be a problem at
well,
times, doesn't
yeah,
it?
definitely there were
Yeah.
problems between us, but not in my heart.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think your love for your daughter ever paled. But sometimes you didn't like her, and sometimes she didn't like you.
Yeah, well,
that's totally normal. My God, of course. And I think, you remember the Smothers Brothers?
Yeah.
Mom always liked you best.
When we were little, Mom, I never got to be the hero. That's why.
Trying to say about
because Mom always liked you best.
Yeah.
Well, in this particular article, it actually profiles some of the people some of the stars from the past. I have to find it.
And I
It's
like
actually
this
very
line.
funny.
This is just a regular father who says, "It is my belief that 95% of the parents in the world have a favorite child, and the other % are lying."
Yeah.
I mean, and I think, and I don't know if it's a bad or good thing.
It's
I just
actually
think
quite
it's a common
interesting.
and an understandable thing, but it is interesting.
It does say, that's exactly, they say 60%, 65% of mothers and 70% of fathers exhibit a preference for one child, but most of them hide it.
Of course, you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. It's something you notice. So you don't think I noticed that my father had a preference for my brother and my sister? Honestly, you don't think I was hurt?
What they also say that part of the reason for that is that, and they talk about, a father who had 4 children, and by the time the 4th one came, he didn't want any more kids.
Right.
No, he's like, I don't want any more.
Yeah.
But there was that 4th kid.
Yeah.
And the mother felt very usually in the animal species or the bird species, if the male doesn't like one of the offspring.
You're going to teach me now. You're teaching me now about the offspring of birds.
It's just I'm not teaching you. No. I'm just not teaching you. I'm just saying I'm making a point that unlike in the animal species world,
yes.
Parents tend to compensate if one parent doesn't favor the child. So the mother, for example,
other parent.
Which is what your mother might have done with you.
Maybe. Yeah, that's possible.
See, I did teach you something.
Yes, I don't know what it has to do with birds, but I liked it. Sometimes a little information can be very dangerous for you, Anne Marie Eigner.
You'll read it.
There's one line in here about the bird species, and that's
well,
what
no, actually, I had heard that before, that there were, I think, with eagles, and we had seen.
Oh my God! Okay, go ahead, eagles. Yeah,
not that I'm an eagle expert. Remember when we saw an eagle nest, and they were talking about how they push the eagles out?
No. Yes.
But it's true.
In Alaska?
No, and yes. No, when we saw it in Cambridge.
Those were not eagles.
Well, whatever they were. Yeah, yes, they were.
No, they weren't. They were
what
some
were they?
other
The falcons?
Falcons?
Red-breasted something or others? I didn't say I was an expert on birds. I just said I found it interesting.
Please don't ever look upon us as a wealth of information that you should repeat to your friends, because you'll look like an idiot.
Pick it up yourselves
and
and
buy
read
it
it
yourself and read the experts. But I found it very interesting, and I do believe it is true. Why Mom liked you best. That's funny. That's
very. I think it's very interesting.
And then Moneyball.
There are rich teams and there are poor teams. Then there's 50 feet of crap, and then there's a.
Love Brad Pitt.
And loved him.
Unbelievable.
And I'm not a big fan of Brad and Brangelina, or whatever.
Oh, you don't like him personally, you mean? I think
not
his work, his body of work,
his body of work is great.
I loved him in Thelma and Louise,
and he was great in this.
He was.
Well, his breakout role was Thelma and Louise,
and I loved him in Seven. I really liked that movie. You probably didn't. That probably scared you too much.
It did.
Yeah,
it made me uncomfortable.
But this
MoneyBall was fabulous,
extremely good. You
know,
it's
the book
interesting.
Was great. It was very
dragged
similar
a bit, just like baseball does. That's what I felt. Like occasionally the movie was a little draggy, because the sport of baseball is a little draggy. But at the same time, it was very riveting. He did a great performance. I thought Jonah Hill was very good.
Very good. Very good.
And that it is a baseball movie that anyone who doesn't really love baseball can still watch and enjoy, says a lot for.
One of my favorite movies.
Who was it? Sorkin. Sorkin is
very
who adapted it from Michael Lewis's book. And it just beat out by a nip Dolphin Tale, which is interesting.
You're kidding.
No, Dolphin Tale of all things.
Well,
that hurts.
I think
that hurts.
The #1 movie for the last few weeks.
Lion King.
Well, it's been Lion King.
What's with the animals? Maybe it goes back to the birds.
There you go.
Think about it.
I rest my case.
I rest my case. The animal kingdom is taking over. And #4 is Abduction. I don't even know what movie that is.
Abduction.
That's
one I will not be seeing.
I don't even know what it is. I never even heard of it.
Is it Matt Damon? He seems to be in everything these days.
I don't think he's in something, unless he's bold. No, he's in Contagion.
Yeah, Contagion.
Contagion, which I don't think I'll see. And Drive, which they say is fantastic, but very, very violent.
Yeah, no, I won't see that.
So you won't like that. And then The Help still hangs in after 7 weeks.
Love that movie.
$154 million.
Yay!
That's fantastic.
That's great.
That is an unexpected delight.
Fabulous.
Don't you think?
Yes,
don't you think?
definitely.
All right.
So we're going to try to get back on schedule. We've been a little remiss the last few
Last
weeks.
week was so... We can't
Agonizing.
apologize more for the fact that some of our shows don't see the light of day.
Because
we'll do a bloopers roll one day with all of our
we
shows.
We are trying to find a new producer. We're having a little production issue behind the scenes, but we're working on it.
It'll all be okay. Don't worry.
Have you even noticed? Have they even noticed?
Only Anne-Marie has noticed that we've been off the air
and
for
I've been
a bit.
crazed about it.
I know. It's
We're
all
trying
fine.
to get back on the right track. And any suggestions for shows that you'd like to see us do, we welcome them. Right?
And we'll be back
and
next
we'll be,
week.
And next year with the Red Sox. We'll be back next year with the Red Sox. So perk it up.
Woo. Go Sox. Thanks. Bye-bye.